Hi, all. This is Dr. J, broadcasting live, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where the weather was a little nippy, but otherwise fine, a little breeze, a little aftermath of the Hurricane Florence, and wasn't a hurricane. In any event, Dr. J was not home all day, didn't follow the action very closely. Made a few trades in the morning. I'll tell you about that. I did read Out of Ignorance's essay article, the final chapter concerning Geron. I don't think it's the final chapter. I think we're in the middle of the book somewhere. But in any event, it was very well written, if not well titled. Excellent job, Out of Ignorance. As always, you give a nice common sense approach to what's going on in Geron, and very factual and up to date. So I always enjoy reading Out of Ignorance. Some of the articles on essay I think very little of. Out of Ignorance is the exception to the rule. I really like his work. In any event, I've given my opinion a number of times on Geron. My opinion hasn't changed, so I'm not going to waste too much time talking about it. I think Out of Ignorance did an excellent job today. My opinion is not far from his. I do think that, considering the lack of volume, that weighs against the likelihood of a takeout or a buyout, but you never can tell. So while things are up in the air to where they are, I'm still going to keep my probability of a buyout at 1/3. I'm still going to keep my probability of a positive CD at 1/3, and probability of other at 1/3. Other includes possibility of J&J walking, the possibility of an extension, the possibility of some kind of reworking of the deal, the partnership arrangement. Who knows what's going on behind closed doors? Um, I do agree with Out of Ignorance that a positive continuation decision would not be the end of it. I believe if there is a positive CD, there will down the road be a buyout. So one way or the other, I think we're going to be bought out by Janssen, just like I was of the firm opinion that Celgene would buy Juno. So let's see if I'm right. We may take a while to find out, but that is my opinion on the record. Remember, do your own due diligence and seek the advice of an investment advisor if you don't do your own due diligence, and you should make your own investment decisions. That's the best way. You can follow Dr. J, but it's at your own risk. Having said that, let's go look at some charts today. Some of them we're going to be looking at more or less together. I had a chance to review them, but just briefly. So let's take a look at today's action. Okay, let's share screen. I see we have 4 viewers live. When we come back, if you want to leave messages, I'll be glad to look at them. So the 5 viewers live, be glad to look at your messages and the chat. All right, so let's go to the. That's when we come back from looking at the charts. However, so type in your messages. We'll get around to them if you like. Let me minimize and go to the charts. The Dow first. The Dow is in a tremendous uptrend, tremendous move that it's made over the last 3 days, about 200 plus points a day. Slowed down a little bit today, only 86 points up in a bifurcated market where the NASDAQ 100 gave back 0.5%, while the Dow was up about 1/3 of 1%. And you can see it on the graph. If I can slide this over a little bit, that we have essentially a doji, a tiny little green candle with very little body, very small body. So essentially a doji on the day. Maybe we're slowing down. Maybe we get a pullback on Monday. Maybe not. In any event, I think we're going to see Macy's fireworks on the bull for the bull to end this bull market. I think we'll get a 4-month super duper rally. I don't think this particular bull market will end with a whimper. Geron. Well, we made some opening remarks about Geron, and I suspect many of you who are watching right now are Gurniacs. And remember, I defined a Gurniac as a Geron maniac. Now, someone who writes for Stat of infamy, who doesn't like biotechs very much, even though he writes about biotechs, rarely slammed us in a number of tweets and articles, and he labeled us as Gurniacs. Well, in one earlier vlog, I said I'm proud to be a Gurniac, and I think that's been echoed by most of the posters on the StockTwits board and on Twitter. So if you're proud to be a Gurniac, let me know that you're proud to be a Gurniac. And if and when Geron gets that positive decision, then we can officially call ourselves Gurniacs. Until then, maybe we should hold off. Okay, the chart is very, very simple chart. It's hardly moving every day now. It's slowed down to a crawl. I told you expect that. Expect behavior of a stock in waiting. We're waiting on that decision. It's coming. Today is what, the 20th? So it's next Friday is the 27th. I think we get the decision. We have to get the decision then. So fasten your seatbelts. One way or the other, we're going to find out. Or as Dr. Scarlett said, we're going to have more clarity the next time we chat together. That was what Dr. Scarlett said. So we're going to have more clarity as shareholders, which is not usually the case. Usually, as Out of Ignorance pointed out, shareholders are not privy to too much information. Advaxis. Advaxis is a stock I'm building a position in. I've been talking this one up since it kind of nosedived here into the 80s. So I've been buying it almost every day. I've been selling some small portions of my portfolio in order to build this position. I'm also adding new monies. I said before, I intend to have a substantial position and begin to take some profits if and when it hits $1.15, the low of the day on July 12th. I think it will make that sharper move up. I think the fundamentals are phenomenal. I think the new CEO, I think his name is Ken Black. I hope I have it right. Fact check me on that. I think he's phenomenal. I think the company has a tremendous pipeline with partnerships with AstraZeneca, Bristol Myers Squibb, and Merck. I mean, it's just a mind-boggling company at this market cap and at this price. So yes, I'm looking for bargains. I am going bottom fishing. I warned you that bottom fishing could hurt. It's like catching the falling knife, and sometimes you can get badly hurt doing that. I hope that's not the case for Dr. J. The next one is CVM. I closed my position in CVM with a more than 100% gain. And today, let's see, up substantially and then down. Not quite sure what's going on with CVM. We'll have to wait till Monday for clarity. But I'm rooting for all the longs of CVM. I'm rooting for the cancer drug that is hopefully going to help patients with squamous cell head and neck cancer. So this is an immunotherapy company. Just like Advaxis, I believe it's undervalued. I am looking for a spot to re-enter. Right now, I'm a little low on cash. That's why I sold that one. I have a lot of money tied up in Geron, a lot tied up in Athersys. So how to get something how to give. All right, ONCS. ONCS, OncoSec Medical, I have a fairly large position in this as well. I did sell 10% of my position, and I sold it at about 134. So I'm about a nickel behind. Again, I want this to go up because I have a substantial amount of it. And even if I didn't, I never root against cancer stock, or any stock for that matter. I don't short stocks. What can I say? If anything, I will try to raise money to add to my position again. I like this company a lot. I've been through the fundamentals. We talked about the Pisces trial, the joint venture with Merck to hopefully cure melanoma, and the novel delivery system that it has utilizing electroporation. I barely can say it, let alone understand exactly what it is. Okay, let's go on to Athersys. Athersys had a beautiful close, heavy volume at the close, although the volume on the day was very light. So while, what do I take away from this? Well, this is a solid turnaround green candle. It's an engulfing candle that not only engulfs yesterday, but engulfs the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Very unusual. And it's a true engulfing of the day before, although you like to see bigger candles. So I like this now. I think it's gotten away from that 185 level. I did sell about 3% of my holdings in order to move it into Advaxis and Actinium. But I have a ton of this. Dr. J is very bullish on Athersys. I mean, this one could be even better than Geron in the long run. Actinium Pharmaceuticals. Another one that has tremendous promise. If things break right with respect to data, I think this will zoom past that 85-cent high. I think it was 85 cents. The high on 7/16 was 85 cents. I could see it zooming right past that on the way to $1. So I'm adding to my position. I have not a substantial position, but a decent sized position. I like the company. I think it's well positioned to take advantage of unmet needs in AML and other bloodborne cancers that require bone marrow transplants. So the fundamentals look good. The chart looks very nice. It busted through some resistance up here. That was really, it took a long time for it to bust through. Now that we've broken through, I think we'll continue to follow this trend line up. So I'm very bullish on Actinium. I'm very bullish on biotech, by the way, in general. I do think that's the next sector to really rally strongly. We're still way off the highs. I think about 40% off the highs, something like that. Apple. I'm talking about the IBB. Apple is my favorite FANG. My favorite FANG is down today, which means the NASDAQ 100 is also down today. So we have a slight bifurcation in the market. Dow up about a third of 1%, NASDAQ down about 1%. No, half of 1%. NASDAQ 100, half of 1%. Apple is actually down more. Yesterday, I remarked that it's good about following its trend line. So if you believe that, this is a good time to buy Apple. And if you want it for a trade, look to sell it somewhere up around here when it reaches the upper trend line. So I like Apple, whether it's for long term or for a trade. And what else? BTX. I own BTX, but I barely know that I own it because I received shares just for being a Geron shareholder and really just put it away and forgot about it. But Musketeer reminded me about this one, so I'm going to take a look at the chart. I remember BTX years ago as essentially being a stem cell company, but now it's like a holding company. I believe they have interests in AST, Asterius, OCX, whatever that's called. And they keep spinning off new little baby BTXs. And that's a strategy. And that's an interesting strategy. And this is an interesting play. Judging from the chart, we've seemed to have established a nice upward channel. So if you want to take a shot here, I think there's an excellent chance it breaks the high of 9.5, which is 281. So even if you only like it for a swing trade, I think it's a good play. Now let's take a look at, see if anybody left any messages before we say goodbye. Being that you're following me live, it's not a terrible thing to get involved if you have something to say or a question to ask. I can feel that right away. Okay, so let's see. All right, now how do I get to my messages? Let's see here. There are still 4 viewers. If you have a microphone hookup, a camera hookup, I can put you right on the air and we can chat. But if not, you could leave a message if I figure out how to read the messages. Oh, this is it up here. Chat. Is anyone for chatting? You can type it in and it'll appear on my right side of my screen. I don't know if people can see it, but I can read it. So let me just type in any messages and see if anybody responds. Any messages or comments? Nobody yet. I'll give it a shot, give it a minute. Meanwhile, it's been a pleasure being with you again. And in the future, if you want to be on with me, do a little camera hookup and we'll take a look, see what you have to say. Dr. J likes people. So Dr. J would love to have any of you on. And if I don't like what you have to say, I'll boot you off. I'm just kidding, I think. In any event, I don't see any messages. So I'm going to say have a great, great day. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you made a lot of money this week trading. I hope you make even more money next week. So, and I hope that Geron has a positive CD or a buyout, and that imetelstat will be a big step towards curing cancer. So that's my hope of the day, of the week, of the month of September. So with that, I'm going to say sayonara. I'm going to say see you all tomorrow or Monday. I'm going to say shalom. I'm going to say hasta luego. I'm going to say adios, amigos. I'm going to say au revoir. And finally, ciao. Bye, all.